Julie, thank you. I want to know now what you make of plans to ban junk food ads on TV and social media. 020 7862 2222. Would love your comments on this. The new law will come into force next October. It'll see junk food ads banned from TV before 9 p.m. and removed altogether from social media. It's in a bid to tackle childhood obesity, and the Department for Health says it'll prevent 20,000 cases of obesity and cut rates of diet-related illness such as diabetes and heart disease. The new law has been criticised, though, by some who claim it's just nanny state telling us what we can and can't buy. And some critics in the Mail today have claimed it will only amount to cutting 2 calories a day. So that's the way they illustrate it with a picture here of a jelly baby, because they say it'll be the equivalent of just giving up 1/10 of a jelly baby per day, which will make no difference. But I mean, in the end, we don't really know what the effect will be. We've just got to, I suppose, Mike, we've just got to hope that it works.
Yeah, well, I'm totally against the policy, as you might have guessed. I mean...
Why, though?
You use nanny state. My view is the government should get out of our lives more than they should get into it. I want to be left alone. The upbringing of children should be 95%, if not 99%, the responsibility of parents. If parents don't know how to feed their children properly, they need to be educated in how to feed their children properly. We're the only country in the world who's doing this. Even Australia and New Zealand have gone mega woke, are not banning adverts on TV. Because if you do that, you're restricting what the population of your country is allowed to see and know. It's intrusion by the government, and it's wrong.
You know that anyone who argues by suggesting that the definition of woke should be applied to what you eat has lost the argument. Because, of course, being woke has nothing to do
with
what food you put in. You're suggesting that, you know, that it's somehow a policy that is attributable to being woke.
No, it's interference by the government in our lives.
You said it's make it woke, is what you said.
I think parents
But I mean, it doesn't really matter whether it's woke or not. It's about whether it's worth doing.
And we all know that the obesity costs the NHS billions of pounds. I think it's £6.5 billion a year. And this is something that can be tackled. But how is it going to be tackled? How is the government going to be able to support us? And you say that this is about the nanny state.
Yeah.
I do want a government who regulates what ingredients, what additives, what chemicals are put into my children's food.
You do, Mike,
I do want the government to regulate and identify and research what ultra-processed food is doing to my children.
All the research shows it will have an absolute minimum impact on the way children eat and their weight problems. Okay. It'll have absolutely no impact whatsoever on obesity.
Well, then let's talk about mindset. Because if you've ever tried to lose...
It's a waste of time.
Hang on, Mike, hang on.
If you've ever tried to lose weight, you'll always be told that the hardest thing is in relation to mindset and managing your mindset around food. If we are not pumping adverts for bad food into our children's lives, they will grow understanding that actually this isn't a normal part of my diet. Yeah. And so it's not just about what the children are going to learn about at 2, at 3, at 4, at 5, at 8 or 10. It's what they're going to take with them into adulthood.
The definition of bad food can be changed 100 times. What you think is bad food, I might not think is bad food, and a parent might not think it's bad food.
Come on, it's stabilised. It's stabilised now.
It's balanced diet.
We know it's refined carbohydrates, particularly white bread, white rice, white sugar, and sort of fat, but mainly refined carb and processed foods. Come on, we know that, Mike.
Most of the time, those are not being advertised on TV. It's things that you eat. And they don't put up a big sign saying this has got this in it, sugar, and all that.
True. Okay.
You see what I mean? So it's the image of what you're going to eat. It's not the content of it.
I remember you said before you used to be overweight. Yeah. Did you find that the only solution to that was to use your own discipline?
Yeah, exactly. I'm disciplined, right?
Yes.
I stopped eating and drinking as much as I used to. I lost a lot of weight. I had to, by the way, because I had a heart attack. And I found it simple to discipline myself in my head. Yeah. But that's what you've got to do. You've got to leave it to the individual, not make it a bullying government policy.
How old were you when you worked out that you needed to discipline yourself?
50.
OK.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm talking about. So if I'm going to, and let's be honest, marketing people are very good at their job. That's why they've got the job, because they are good at pumping information. They are very good at pumping products towards children who wouldn't even have thought of them or considered them,
Yeah.
but because of how they're marketed, they suddenly become
where will
very
it go
attractive.
next? Where will it go
Don't
next?
wait until you are 50 to realise about how to live a healthy
Something
life.
is going wrong.
Find out
I've
now.
seen children who are enormous, frankly,
Yeah.
and I don't even know how that's happened.
Yeah.
That's
what I'm saying. It's parental.
It's
Well, yeah,
one in eight. One in eight
but
children,
that-
Jeremy, aged 2 to 10, are obese.
It's incredible. Stephen in Aberdeen, what do you think? So it's just one way of attacking obesity is ban junk food adverts before 9 p.m.
Is it really going to make a difference? It's actually the parents and guardians that are responsible for feeding the children. So the adverts should be more about educating. So if the government are trying to do what they're trying to do, then surely instead of trying to manipulate and control how we live our life, why don't they create an advert to say about balanced diets? Teach the adults, because it's the adults that technically buy. If the children go to school, it's the school's responsibility. And it seems to be that, with all due respect, it's like there's always a blame game someplace.
Yeah.
But it's down to the parents.
Yeah, but we've tried the parent thing, right? We've been trying it for 30 years. It hasn't worked. It's to the point where quite a lot of the lawmakers who are going to bring this in are themselves obese, but maybe can't even see it. So something's happening. We're in this environment which tends to make you fat.
And Stephen, we also know that actually the highest rates of obesity in our children are in those who come from families in deprived areas.
Right.
So in terms of what we are doing to support these parents who are, forced to buy the turkey Twizzlers or whatever it might be, as opposed to seeing the options available for them to buy a packet of potatoes and then make the food. That isn't there for them. So whilst I accept that advertising is a great idea, if we're just not telling people that these products are out there, that they just don't exist, and so we don't have that pressure on the parent to give the child what they want, then that's going to help,
The government
surely.
then should spend more time and energy on improving the lot of those people that you say are at the bottom of the social scale and whose parents go and pay a lot more for this sort of food than they would spend if they went into a supermarket and bought a lettuce and bought potatoes and cooked the meal at home.
I never get that. It's convenience, isn't it? Convenience.
It's convenience, but they're perishable items. So you say that it costs less. I appreciate that. But when you're going to buy 20 fish fingers as opposed to a packet of potatoes, the 20 fish fingers can stay in the freezer.
Forever.
The potatoes won't be able to do that. So,
Good point.
It's
also,
it's about perishables.
I don't think that fish fingers are the problem here. I mean, we had fish fingers when I was a kid. Nobody was fat when I was a kid.
I totally agree.
Was one person at school.
I can eat
Chris.
a packet of fish fingers and it's absolutely no problem. They're a very nutritious food. I would recommend them to all families out there.
But I'm always fascinated as well with people who are obese and who are very well off, intelligent. Okay, Prince Andrew being an example. He's got all the education that you want. He's got all the information, and we see these people. So something's gone wrong there as well.
And accessibility to exercise and private gyms.
Yes, everything. And maybe Andrew's the wrong example. And he doesn't drink.
No,
what's gone wrong
just
there?
A lavish lifestyle. I mean,
but you can lavish lifestyle. You can eat caviar. I mean,
but you
doesn't
can
mean you
also-
have to stuff yourself.
You don't stuff your face with food all day
They're
long.
not having a
People can
sneeze
afford
guard
it.
at Buckingham Palace and all you can eat. That's not how they roll.
So then we go back
They're
to
all salmon blinis.
we go back to mindset, don't we? And which we know is a real key feature for those people who are trying to lose weight. But if you're not pushing the message in people's faces all the time, which is what this policy is essentially saying, let's not push that message, then hopefully that will support people.
OK, it's a big, big subject. This Helen in Cambridge, what do you think? Ban junk food ads.
Well, if the schools still continued to teach them home economics, there probably wouldn't be any need for junk food. I've got 3 grandchildren. Two of them at 25 and 22 are at uni. The other one is still at home. But each of those kids can put a meal on the table second to none. And I don't mean fry-ups or meat and two veg. Excellent fields. What the schools do have stopped doing the home economics. They now teach them tap dancing and ballet dancing. Well, they can teach them to do knitting and sewing. That's no good. That won't put a meal on the table.
You can't outrun a bad diet.
should need to be shown what to buy, how to store it, and then how to cook it.
Okay.
And they wouldn't need junk food.
Thank you, Helen.
Very good
Who is
point.
it? You
That's a
said
good
you
point.
can't outrun a pizza. Well, that's odd because you can actually.
Yeah, but pizza's okay.
Jeanette's in Lancashire. Hi, no, pizza's not
Pizzas
okay.
are okay.
It's full of
Pizzas are
sugar.
fine. I've had the doctor tell me pizza's okay.
Oh, because it's got all the 5 ingredients. They've got the 5.
Yeah.
5 a day. Yeah, of course it has. And all the dough base. And you have
that's
you have the crispy, creamy, cheesy dough base.
No.
With the inflated border.
Regular pizza's nothing wrong with it. I swear to you, my doctor said pizza's okay.
All right.
So I believe medical science.
That's from a guy who knows.
Yeah.
Jeanette in Lancashire, hi.
Hello.
What do you think? We ban the junk food ads.
I don't think that'll make any difference. I think it's more education. Educate people on how to cook good, stable food, educate the children at school, as I was. Let them know what's good for them.
Yeah.
When
Well,
you go out,
yeah.
you see all these fast food shops on every street corner.
Yep.
So how is banning anything on television going to make any difference to that?
A good point. It's because they are their own adverts. Thank you, Jeanette, so much. And then interestingly, in London, just to refer, the Mayor of London took a very aggressive approach to this. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but he said you cannot have a picture of cake. And someone was advertising.
On the tube, wasn't it?
And it was on the London Underground, and it was not even a cake advert. It was an advert for something else. But there's a giant picture of a great big slice of cake, and they said, we're not having it. You can't have people staring at cake while they're riding.
That's nonsense. That is really, that is nanny state personified. That's dictatorship.
Wow.
OK, later it's the papers and everything else.